Hello and welcome everyone again to the second episode of Sam's 10-Minute Tuesdays, which Joe Templin and I created because sales is an activity game and introductions make it easy to win the game every day. Joe, thanks again for jumping on with us and being a huge part of this.
Anytime, my friend, anytime.
I know you and I have a great love for activity management, and I know you have a great organization that has been is one of the key metrics that I know that activity management tracks. But maybe you could tell the audience a little bit about Tim, and also as a segue, why you love activity management so much.
I will do so. So Tim is short for the intro machine. And we'll talk about activity management and the entire sales process. But literally everything starts with an introduction. If you don't have introductions, you have nobody to call. You have nobody to sit down and take through a fact finder or initial meeting. You've got nobody to help solve problems with. Literally, you're sitting in your office twiddling your thumbs. Or you're doing something that is even worse, you're cold calling people. You're picking up the phone and you're dialing, or you're sending emails, or you're trying to buy lists, or you're finding some way to get in front of other people to get them to go through your sales process. And as Joey Davenport, the president of the Hoopus Performance Network, said, cold calling is God's punishment for people who don't learn to get introductions. Introductions are like 8 to 10 times more effective than trying to cold call or buy lists or anything like that. And so early in my career as a college intern, I remember my race coordinator, Carly Guy, sitting me down and explaining to me why I deserved introductions in every single meeting for creating value for clients. And that literally was the lightning bolt that changed my career as an early college intern and has enabled me to have everything that I have in my life, was that capability to get introductions, because she had that conversation with me. So we built the intro machine to help teach financial reps the skill set and the mindset so that they can build introduction-based businesses and be able to focus on the fun components of serving and helping our clients.
In that theme, I'd say a little story that for many years ago, I did a little consulting gig for a car dealer group. Actually, it's a Bob Rohrman car dealer group, and unfortunately, Bob Rohrman was just buried yesterday. He was 87 years old, an icon in the industry, and he had such a successful group, but he wanted me to help hone his Toyota dealership. So for about 60 days, I tracked all the numbers through our activity management tools, calls and contacts and demos and referrals, and we proved that the closing ratio on a referral or an introduction was 60%, but the closing ratio on a fresh up, as they call them, a fresh customer walking in the showroom, was 20%. And I'll never forget a guy jumping out of his chair and saying, "Do you mean I only have to talk to 1/3 the number of people? I can still sell the same number of cars?" That's exactly it. So introductions, there's really, I love R&R, repeat referral business. And I think referral should be first.
Absolutely. And it's just one component of the overall sales process, but it is the thing where if I was a brand new rep coming into the business right now, I would learn 2 things in and out, backward and forward. I would learn how to get introductions. I'd learn how to pick up the phone and get them into my sales process. And I hate the phone. Oh God, even though I'm a 90+% phoner, I still hate the phone to this day. I get like shakes and everything when I have to do it, but I'm incredible at it because I hated it so much and built my skill set around it. But I understand my numbers. I understood my numbers. I live by my numbers still. I know exactly what I need to do on a daily basis from activity to run my businesses. And, so our alliance between Sam and Tim is a beautiful thing because The more introductions you get, the more people you have to put through your system, and the better your numbers are to give you a true reflection of who you are as a professional and what you need to do to continuously improve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes perfect sense because, like the Kinder brothers always said, if the measure and monitor what matters most, and certainly introductions, referrals, both requesting them as well as getting them are two key metrics that could build anybody's business.
Yeah. And it's one of the few components of a financial services business that is completely under the control of the individual. How often do you ask? Are you asking every single time you sit down with a client? Every time you create value that you help them save money, avoid a situation, help them sleep better at night, whatever. Anytime you create value for that client, guess what? Capitalism says that you deserve to be compensated for. And if they're not writing you a check for X dollars, guess what? They should give you something that's nearly as good. They should give you a bunch of other individuals that you can talk to about taking through your planning process to help them the same way you've helped this individual and the individual that introduced you to them in the first place. Mm-hmm. And if a rep can become very, very comfortable with that concept and sitting down and having the backbone to always ask when they have created value, that's the key to running a high activity business that then allows them to do lots of wonderful things.
Yep. And you need to have some type of systems to be able to track it too, don't you?
Absolutely. Because, coming from an engineering background, process is what's going to create consistent results. And tracking your process is the only way that you can see if there's flaws in your system that can be improved. I was talking with a young rep last week, fraternity brother of mine that I'm mentoring, and his reach to appointments was only 20%. I'm like, all right, there's a skill set issue here. And I found out very quickly that Andrew was not asking 3 times for the appointment. Somebody would say yes 20% of the time right off the bat, and he'd take those, and that's why his 20% phoner. But he didn't acknowledge that he had a concern, reintroduce the person that they were referred by, and ask again, re-ask. If you do that twice, you go from 20% to 40% in terms of appointments that you're getting. If you ask 3 times, you'll get up to 50 to 60%. And that's the reason why we track the activity of the X number of dials, so many reaches, so many appointments out of it, because it indicates where there's a skill set flaw. If somebody will ask 4 times, they'll get up to being an 80% phone. So for the same amount of upfront action, they can get 3 or 4 times the result out. So that's where the skill set comes in, from knowing what the numbers are. If you're going to play a game, you have to know the score. Or else, how do you know you're winning?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of people who have used that similar numbers. As if you're not going to keep score, why even play? But yeah. In the last minute that we have to talk in today's session, I'd like to say that I look forward to hearing more of those ideas, because I just talked to a guy today from Florida, and at the end of the conversation, I said, I want you to know we love referrals, and he agreed to me on why he loves referrals. He'll be happy to give us referrals, but I never really got one. So
until you asked.
I asked, I teed it up, but I didn't necessarily ask. It's kind of like I guess there's a parallel here. Back when I was dating in high school, I didn't really ask to kiss her goodnight. It had to happen. So, but anyway, thanks for being part of this again. We have to keep it 10 minutes so that because the mind will comprehend what the butt will endure, and we need to make it quick and easy for everybody to get these little sound bites and take these ideas and go back and build their business. So,
and remember, sales is an activity-driven game, and introductions helps you win the game every single day.
Well put, my friend. Take care. God bless.
You too.